Hello, today is vlog challenge day 14th and today I brought my babies. Here you go, peanut and butter, and they cut their hair. Can you see? Aww. My friend groomed them for me. But I missed them for 2 nights, so the house was quiet and it was very different and I was semi-depressed. Not because not only because they were gone, but with my nerve pains and everything just kind of piled up. But anyways, para. Yay. Anyways, you guys can go now. Oh, so cute. I'm so glad they're home. I miss them so much. But anyways, alright, I would like to start my update. So I actually yesterday slept for more than 12 hours. I was really tired. And not only that, it's just probably the pain was just bothering me like crazy, and I couldn't concentrate. So that was another stress that I had. I feel much better now after I slept. I look a little bit tired still, but that's fine. And I hadn't had that much of a sleep in a long time, so I guess that was good. And also my community is growing and I'm so excited. So the members are gradually increasing, so I decided to change how I do my updates. So originally I thought that I can just do my updates on YouTube, but then if I do that, I would have to consider the privacy part, meaning that I cannot say too much details about every member's life and that sort of thing. So at this point I believe that it's better to kind of separate it. So this will be a little bit more for external, and it's not even for marketing purpose. It's a little bit more for my practice and experiment on how YouTube audience reacts and how I do marketing and everything. So it's a little bit more like an experimental part of things, and also for my own personal growth, right? So this will be a little bit more for external, and I will have my internal videos which won't be done on YouTube. It will just be done within my community. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, and in that way I feel like I can speak freely. And not remember, but on my 13th day challenge I wasn't even able to talk about anything because there was too much things on my mind, and considering all the privacy and also how my project move forward. Like sometimes I feel like, do I have to say this to the public? Like sometimes it's really not necessary, and sometimes it is. But I think if I can just divide them, then I will have a better mindset to keep going on with this challenge as well. So yeah, that is that. So congratulations on to the 14th day, although it has been hard for me to continue. But anyways, I do want to go through several topics that I've thought about, and just going from there, sharing my experience and why I think leading by value is important. So this is something that I knew but wasn't really able to verbalize it, because to me it was a question mark. That was I living by my values? Were I actually leading by my core values? And if I were to say within the company and with the roles that I was provided, I did lead by my values within the team. But then at the same time, it's a little bit questionable when you think about, hey, what is the owners or the actual entrepreneur within the company's values are, and that doesn't necessarily match your core value. And what do you do in that kind of situation, right? So I think that's another thing, right? Is to consider, like, when you actually choose your bosses or the organization, I think it's really, really important to ask yourself that, does this company's value align with my value? And I think most of the people does subconsciously really, really consider that, right? And of course, for me, every single time I jump into a company, I try to understand their core value and align with mine. But the reality is, with startups, like, even though they have their core value, or they say they have their core values, it doesn't mean that it's properly executed within the internal part. And I think, especially in startups, owners or the management team focus more on external rather than internal. So the internal side are neglected more, and the external side are valued more, because it's startup, they need money, right? So it's a nature of law, and nobody can complain about that. But then, just saying, right, like, for people who's considering to start a startup, or people who's considering to jump into the startup world, I think it's really, really important component to think about, so that moving forward, nobody gets in a bad place. People can be in a good place, right? If people can consider things a little bit more in depth before jumping into some kind of world. Yeah. So I'm speaking from my experience, and I'm not saying or judging or anything, because I'm a kind of person, I'm really, really adventurous. So I'm a kind of person, I just jump into things and realize, oh my goodness, like, no, was this really good for me? And at the end of the day, everything was great for me, because it led me to this really, really good, realization, right? So that's that. Okay, so when I say leading by core values, what do I actually mean? I actually mean that the company actually states the core value every single day, and also in some kind of form put it into action and show by example. And not only that, but implement every single operations based on the core value. Why do we do this, and why are we leading like this? All of the employees within your organization should know, why are we taking this kind of method to move forward? So this communication part is really, really important. And it's challenging for some companies, I know, especially when the owners don't really know how to communicate with the management level. Well, normally owners can communicate with the management level, but then when the management level actually executed to the staff level, that's the part, like, what is the conversion right there? So I think good managers are the managers that listens to both sides and convey the message on both ends. Yeah, so I've been a lot in this sandwich position within the company, right? So I am close to the owner or the management level, and I listen to what are their direction, how they want to convey the business, and I break them down into operations and let my staff or the team go through them. And there will be like gaps between the owner level and the staff level. There will be the gap, and the manager work is to fill in that gap. So it's essentially a messenger and execution part as well, right? So yeah, it is a tough job, but it is a very interesting experience to go through as well. So yeah, I guess that's about it. I am a little bit in a rush because I have a meeting in like 10 minutes, but anyways, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.